Greetings to all of you. Before we begin our presentation, allow me to introduce my group members. Here we have MARCELINE binti MATHEW, NORFAZIRAH binti ZAIDIN SHAH, Nur ARIFAH SHYRAIN binti PERJADA, Nur WANI binti SULAIMAN, and me myself, NURHIDAYU binti KASIM. Together, we have completed this project and we're so excited to share our findings with you guys today. Managing money is a key skill for university students, yet many struggle due to limited income and poor budgeting habits. Our project explores these struggles, which often lead to problems like running out of money, skipping meals, or borrowing from friends. We choose this topic because we have seen it in our own lives and among our peers. Causes include lack of financial knowledge, peer pressure, and poor spending awareness. Through surveys and research, we aim to understand these challenges and suggest solutions like financial education and better budgeting tools to help students manage their money wisely.
For this project, we wanted to understand the budgeting problems university students face. We asked about their income, how they manage their spending, and whether they keep track of their money. We also look at why students struggle with budgeting, like low income, impulsive spending, or not knowing how to manage money. From our findings, we hope to better understand these challenges and share ideas to help students, like offering budgeting tips, tools, or workshops.
Pie chart 6.3 illustrates whether students receive financial support from their families. A large majority, 83.4%, responded yes, meanwhile 8.3% of students said no. Another 8.3% answered occasionally. This chart highlights how heavily most students depend on family assistance to manage their financial needs. Next, pie chart 6.4 shows how often students keep track of their monthly expenses. 45.8% of the respondents said they do so on regular. 37.5% reported that they sometimes keep track. Meanwhile, 18.7% said no, meaning they do not monitor their expenses at all. This chart highlights the need to encourage more consistent expense tracking among students for better financial control.
Let's first examine the left chart. Have you ever run out of money before the end of the month or semester? The data shows that financial shortfalls are common. A significant 20% frequently run out of money and another 31.4% do so occasionally. Combined, over half of students, 51.4%, experience running out of funds before the end of the month or semester. This percentage is larger compared to those who never experience it, which is combined to 48.9%, suggested that our students still lack financial literacy and have struggles in managing their budget. Now, let's look at the right chart. How often do you find it difficult to manage your monthly expenses as a university student? Here, the challenge is even more widespread. 42.9% find it difficult sometimes, and a substantial 37.1% find it difficult always. This means a striking 80%, which is the majority of the students, regularly struggle with managing their monthly expenses. Only a small fraction of 5.7% reported never finding it difficult. So, in summary, this chart clearly shows that financial difficulty is not an uncommon thing in our students, and it is actually a prevalent issue among us. A vast majority regularly face challenges with managing money and often run out of funds. This highlights a clear need for better financial support and literacy among students to ensure a high level of understanding regarding financial literacy.
The first pie chart on the left shows the response to the question, how confident are you in your ability to budget effectively? We can see that the largest group, 48.6%, feel neutral about their budgeting ability. Not confident but not lacking confidence either, 23.7%, say they are somewhat confident, while 11.4% admit they are not very confident. Only a small portion, 8.6%, feel very confident. This tells us that most students are somewhere in the middle. They may understand the basics of budgeting but aren't fully confident in their skill. The second pie chart on the right, it answers the question, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to budgeting as a student? The top challenge is impulsive spending, affecting 37.5% of respondents. This is followed by not enough income at 26.7% and unexpected expenses at 22.5%. Only 8.3 cited lack of financial literacy as their main challenge. This suggests that most students know what to do but struggle more with behavior and circumstance than with knowledge. Many students feel only moderate confident in their budgeting abilities. The real struggle lies in controlling impulsive habit and coping with limited income and surprise expenses.
The first chart shows that a significant 54.2% of respondents have never attended a financial literacy workshop, with an additional 20.8% unaware that they even exist. That's a total of 75% not engaging with these resources. However, the good news from our second chart is that an overwhelming 83.3% are very interested in learning more about managing their personal finances. This clearly indicates a huge opportunity to provide accessible financial education.
Now, let's take a look at the bar graph. Starting with the first graph on the left, it shows what we spend most of our money on. As we can see, the majority of spending goes to food and beverages, with 88% of respondents indicating this as their top expenses. This is followed by transportation and internet or mobile bills, each with 44%, and shopping or clothing at 40%. Students also spend on entertainment with 36% and also spend on rent or hostel payment 20%, and study material with 24%. Clearly, food is the dominant category where money is spent the most. Next, moving to the second graph on the right, it highlights which area most people struggle to control their spending. Again, food and dining out-tops the list with a massive 88.9%, suggesting that not only do people spend the most on food, but they also find it the hardest area to manage. Transportation also a measure of students hardly to control their spending, which over 36.1%, which is because of the long distance of campus to hostel or home. Online shopping and academic expenses are also significant challenges, with over 27% of people reporting difficulty controlling these expenses. To conclude, this graph clearly shows that food and dining is both the largest spending category and the hardest to manage. This indicates a key area where budgeting and mindful spending could make a big difference in financial wellness.
Here's a real-life budgeting example that many students can relate to. Students receive RM 500 each month from PTPTN. However, early in the month, they spend around RM 200 on clothes and eating out without proper planning. By mid-month, they start running out of money for essentials like food, transport, and academic expenses. This leads to skipping meals, borrowing from friends, and even delays in completing assignments due to lack of funds. As a result, the student experiences stress and falls into a cycle of poor budgeting every month. This example shows how important financial planning and budgeting are for student well-being and academic success.
Next is reflections and lesson learned. Managing finance as a university student can be tough, especially with limited income and rising costs like rent, food, and study materials. Many students depend on family support, part-time jobs, scholarship, or loans like PTPTN, which often aren't enough to cover monthly expenses. This leads to serious challenges such as poor financial literacy, impulsive spending, and pressure from peers that sometimes even cause students to run out money before the month's end. These struggles teach us a lesson. First, financial awareness is important because students must learn to track where their money goes and distinguish between needs and wants. A major issue is FOMO, or fear of missing out, where students spend just to feel included in trends like fashion, food, or entertainment, often exceeding their budget. Developing self-discipline is also crucial. Budgeting isn't just about the numbers, it's about making smart choices and learning how to say no to unnecessary purchases. Lastly, creating and following a simple budget plan can really help students control their spending, set goals, and prepare for monthly expenses. In the end, planning and discipline are the key to financial stability as a student.
For future improvement, we suggest involving a more diverse group of students from different backgrounds to get better and more complete data. Adding open-ended questions or even doing interviews and focus groups could help us understand their personal experiences more deeply. Lastly, future projects can test real solutions like giving students a budgeting app or running a workshop and then track how it helps them. These steps can make future studies more meaningful and helpful for solving students' budgeting struggles.